Okay. Recording has now started. So we want to make a land acknowledgement before moving into this space. This is a chance for you to just take a second to hear and align with the honor that we give through making this acknowledgement. So we acknowledge that as an international network, we are currently standing on ancestral lands of many indigenous nations. Through this land acknowledgement, we also honor the millions of enslaved Africans who physically and spiritually tended to these lands. So let's just have a moment to breathe that in, breathe it out. And yeah. So Nora is going to take over now.
Yeah, so for today, we're borrowing some community agreements from Press Press, which is an interdisciplinary publishing initiative that aims to shift and deepen the understanding of voices, identities, and narratives that have been suppressed or misrepresented by the mainstream. So thank you to Press Press for sharing these out. I'll read through them and then we'll continue from there. First, we speak and listen from the heart. We understand that fruitful conversation sometimes requires that we are challenged and uncomfortable. We will not confuse safety with uncomfortability. We will not confuse conflict with abuse. We will use I statements as much as we can. And we will strive to remain present when others are talking and sharing. We will hold empathy and compassion in our words and in our actions. We will be mindful of the space that we take up. We will honor our shared vulnerability through our confidentiality. We will approach conflicts, disagreements, and misunderstanding with curiosity, seeing them as opportunities for learning, growth, and deep collaboration. And we will practice consent as best as we can, recognizing that all prompts, questions, and activities proposed are by invitation.
So now we're just going to take a second to introduce ourselves as coordinators of the project. So Victoria Barnett could not be here. They are our Node and Working Group Manager, and they have played a major hand in bringing this all together. So we want to just honor them and thank them even though they're not here. You're muted, though.
Sorry, I didn't see I was muted. Hi, everybody. My name is Noor Arafat. I use she, her pronouns. I am a steering committee member with the network, as well as one of the Chicago node coordinators. So anyone who's in Chicago, or if you have any friends around Chicago, definitely reach out. I'm a designer, writer, and engineer, and really, really happy to be here with you all today. And I live and work on the territories of the Potawatomi people.
My name is Taylor Simone. My pronouns are she and her. I am DJN Special Project Manager. I'm a designer, artist, and an educator. And I will pass it on to Wes.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Wesley Taylor. I'm a member of the steering committee and a co-founder of DJN. And I'm a designer, artist, musician, educator, a whole lot of other things. And I move in between Anishinaabe and Powhatan territories where I live and work in multiple places.
And hi, everyone. I'm Renee Joy. I'm the communications specialist and storyteller for the Design Justice Network. I live on Timucua and Muskogee lands, also known as Orlando, Florida, and I'm really excited to be here today.
So for the whole theme weaving process that we will be engaged in, not just today, but over the course of some weeks, and this is our kickoff. What we will be doing is this is a virtual 2-day. So going back in time, in 2022, we had a virtual 2-day steering committee retreat, which we grounded in member feedback from the winter of 21. And so our key takeaways were, we know we need to develop more support and grow the staff within the steering committee and the staff team. We're going to start to seek grants for DJN. And so up until this year, DJN has been completely member supported outside of grants and funding. And we know we need to develop more clarity around budgeting and decision-making. And so this is an ongoing developing and iterative process that we're working through. And then also figuring out how to attend to members as a top priority. And so that led us into conceiving and conceptualizing a way for members to input, a way we can direct resources, but we can also come around and figure out what is important as far as like movement building within the network, and seeing where that is and how we can use our collective power that was really in tune with our mission and vision. And so as we go through this as the kickoff, we will be having input, we'll have conversations, we'll have presentations, we will be processing this information as groups, individually, and we will be adding feedback and our thoughts. And so we will be synthesizing this in a process. So we'll prioritize the needs based on member visioning feedback, staff, and steering committee, visualize priorities, further synthesis, naming the key groups, visioning infrastructure, network management, infrastructure, finances, budgeting and communication, prioritizing network care, and member experiences through nodes and working groups, network programming, and member benefits. For our theme weaving, and this is our inaugural kickoff theme weaving for Design Justice Network. And just to be called out, like, this is the first time we've gathered publicly since 2021 when we announced the mission and vision. And so this is really exciting to launch this as a way for annually for the network to gather, assess, reassess our collective power and how to move that. And so in the theme weaving, as I mentioned before, it'll be a series of events. So as it works now, it's an annual series of events that will align members, coordinators, staff, and steering committee with a shared set of commitments, guiding our thoughts, priorities, and informing the network in the following year. So as I mentioned, the reasons why we're doing this will allow for members to shape the network in direction, support nodes and working group with programming. It'll be inspiration for programming, create space create space for the year and inform updates and inform resource flows. So as a way to give a framework for our theming, we look towards Grace Lee Boggs in really trying to reflect and meditate on this wise question of what time is it on the clock of the world. And we're using that as a prompt for us to come up with a theme within the Design Justice Network. And so with this prompt, we've asked the presenters to use this as a loose guide to help us with their presentations. And we will be giving an introduction to the presenters, but the reason why we have a multifaceted, multi-group presentation to give different viewpoints, different perspectives on people within the network, aligned with the network, but that we think could give a good, just starting off a good launching pad for us to kind of think about this idea based on the work that they've been doing deeply within the network or alongside the network. And, you know, these three presentation groups, I think, and we feel represent a good variety of what's going on, but in no way does it show the full diversity of everything that's going on in DJN. And hopefully, as these types of events keep happening, we can figure out how these different viewpoints still continue to inform. And the reason why we're calling this weaving, so we can weave in themes. The goal is not necessarily to become a single message, but a variety of messages that feel aligned and where people can find ways to commit to the themes of DJN that feel aligned, but feel within their comfort or with where they're coming and entering this space. So